Hello, and welcome to RuPaul's Drag Race Rejudged, where today we will be taking a look at All Stars Season 7. Getting right into it, we have Episode 1, which is the Remix. I think when you factor in performances, verses, and runways, anyone but Trinity, Raja, or Viv could have been in the top. However, I decided to go with Monet and Shea for the top two, with Jada and Evie as high. I think everyone out of those four and Jinkx did great, but I just think Monet and Shea were at a slightly higher level than the rest of the competition this week. But Monet and Shea win, they lip sync to Old MacDonald Had a Farm, Shea wins, and Trinity is blocked. Next up is episode 2, which is the Snatch Game. I think the top four of Jinkx, Raja, Trinity, and Monet was pretty clear this episode, with Jinkx being number 1 and Monet being in 4th. I know there was a lot of debate over Raja versus Trinity for the other slot in the top 2, but I went with Raja based off her runway and the fact that I think her Madam was more out of the box. But Jinkx and Raja win, they lip sync to Rumor Has It, Jinkx wins, and Shea is blocked. Next up is episode 3, which is the ball, where once again I think we have a pretty clear-cut top 4. We have Jada, Trinity, Raja, and Shea, who are all just great. I think Viv also did pretty well, but no one else really stuck out for me. I think this is a scenario where Jada is the clear first place and Shea is the 4th place, with Trinity and Raja once again fighting it out for that final slot in the top 2. Ultimately, though, I decided to go with Trinity for the other slot. As great as Raja's final runway was, her Olivia Newton-John Waters look was really bad, and Trinity's runway package was more cohesive overall, and it was more steady in quality. But Jada and Trinity lip sync to Greenlight, Jada wins, and Jinkx is blocked. Next up is episode 4, which is the Improv Challenge. I decided to go with Jinkx, Viv, Shea, and Evie as the top 4, with Trinity as a close 5th. For the top 2, I think Viv was the clear best, Jinkx was 2nd, and Evie was a close 3rd. However, that does result with a top 2 of Jinkx and the Vivienne. The two of them lip sync to Love Will Save the Day, Vivienne wins, and Monet is blocked. Next up is episode 5, which is the Comedy Challenge. First of many. I think Jinkx, Raja, and Vivienne were all hilarious, and Evie had the best speech as a whole, but I decided to go with Jinkx and Raja for the top 2 based off just storyline and overall performance, but Viv was still amazing. I decided to switch around the order a bit to make the season more entertaining, so Jinkx and Raja lip sync to Why'd You Come In Here Looking Like That by Dolly Parton. Jinkx wins, and the Vivienne is blocked. Next up is episode 6, which is the Girl Groups Challenge. For the top 4 queens this week, I decided to go with the best 2 of each group, which happened to be my 4 favorites. I think Monet and Shea were the best from their team, and Evie and Jada were the best from theirs. Factoring in challenges and runway performances, I'm going to go with Monet and Evie for the top 2 here. And since we swapped the songs around to make for a more entertaining season, Monet and Evie lip sync to Better in Color. I think this lip sync could be one of the best in All Stars history. I think it would be a double win, and they would agree to block Raja. Next up is episode 7, which is the Design Challenge. I believe this is the only episode of the entire video where the judging is 100% the same as it was in the original season. I think Jada and Trinity were the clear top 2 here. I think Shea had a really great concept but wasn't able to get the execution all the way there. And while Monet had a really strong concept, it just wasn't on the same level as Jada and Trinity. Jada and Trinity win, they lip sync to I Want Love, Trinity wins, and Evie Oddly is blocked. Next up is episode 8, which is the Acting Challenge. I think Viv was the best, but any combination of Raja, Monet, and Shay could have been in the top 2 with her. The tiebreaker for me was the runway. For reference, this episode had the knitted runway, but I think Raja and Vivian win. They lip sync to Super Freak, Raja wins and blocks Jada. Next up, we have episode 9, which is the TikTok dancing challenge. I think the judging of this challenge is solely dependent on where you value comedy versus hitting the mark of the challenge. So please let me know if you disagree. I think a fair amount of people will. But I decided to go with Monet and Evie as the top 2, with Jada and Jinkx as high. Jinkx was hilarious. I just didn't really feel like she fit the prompt the way Monet and Evie did. But Monet and Evie win. They lip sync to The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. Monet wins, and at this point in the competition, no one is blocked. Next up is episode 10, which is the roast. Jinkx and Viv were the clear top 2 here. I really didn't see anyone else on their level, despite how great everyone was. I think Monet and Trinity take 3rd and 4th for me, but overall it was just a really strong roast. Even Jada, who didn't really do the best, was still able to get a laugh out of me out of just sheer charisma. But Jinkx and the Vivian lip sync to Kings and Queens. I believe the rumor is true that Jinkx fell during the lip sync, and for me that gives Vivian the win here, but no one is blocked. Next up is episode 11, which is the talent show. I think overall this was a pretty solid talent show, but it was hurt by the fact that most people prepared lip sync performances. Just off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure it was Shay, Evie, Jada, and Trinity, all of whom prepared a lip sync performance, so half the cast. But taking that into account, I decided to go with a top 2 of Monet and Shay. I think they were the best 2, with Jinkx and Raja as high. I mean, as great as Jinkx's singing was, it just wasn't as outside of the box as Monet's opera. And Raja's performance, while really entertaining and beautiful to watch, I just didn't like it as much as I liked Shay. But Monet and Shay lip sync to Supernova. It is incredible, and they both win. And just to even things out, because this is the final hour talent show, they are each getting 1 extra star. Not 2, just 1. I don't feel like I need to justify why giving them 2 extra stars at the last second kind of ruined the season. That said, here is where we are in terms of the stars. Monet is in first place with 5 stars, so she is moving on to the finale. Jinkx is in second place with 4 stars, and she is moving on to the finale. Raja, the Vivian, and Shay are tied for 3rd with 3 stars, so 2 of them will be making the finale. And Jada, Trinity, and Evie all unfortunately have 2 stars and will be cut. I decided that the fairest thing to do here would be to have each of the top 2 pick someone to take with them to the finale. While I do not know specifically who would take who to the finale, I don't think anyone would really want to bring Shay into a lip sync smackdown, which leaves us with the top 4 of Jinkx, Monet, Raja, and the Vivian, the top 4 we deserved. I don't really know how the fan vote would play out here. I think everyone would do well, but Jinkx and Raja would be, like, astronomically high. But before we get into the lip sync smackdown, it is episode 12, which is the finale, and also the Lollapalooza lip sync smackdown for the Queen of She Done Already Done had hers. Evie and Trinity lip sync to Push It, and I think Evie clearly wins. Jada and Shay lip sync to Let's Hear It for the Boy. I think this one is really close, but I think Jada would be able to edge out Shay for it. Jada and Evie lip sync to Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves, and Evie is crowned as the Queen of She Done Already Done had hers. Last thing before the lip sync smackdown, let's take a look at the track records. Monet is in first place with a score of 7.55 with 4 wins and 4 highs. Jinkx is in second place with a score of 7.09 with 4 wins and 2 highs. Raja is in third place with a score of 6.73, 3 wins and 2 highs. And the Vivian is in fourth with a score of 6.55, 3 wins and 1 high. Now for the lip sync smackdown for the crown. Jinkx and Raja lip sync to Judas, and Jinkx wins, moving on to the top 2. Monet and the Vivian lip sync to So What. Monet wins and moves on to the top 2. Jinkx and Monet lip sync to Swish Swish, and for strictly comedic reasons, it is a double crowning. I know that is kind of the cop-out answer here, but I really think that in this timeline they would both be equally deserving winners. Jinkx had amazing performances all season, and had a great showing in the fan vote and the Judas lip sync, while Monet also did great this season, doing a bit worse in the fan vote but a bit better track record wise, and honestly I think it evens out. Also, I think it would be hilarious for Monet to be part of 2 double wins. But if you disagree, please let me know in the comments. I'm sure many people will. The All-Stars 4 double crowning was not received well. But that is just about all I have for today. So on that note, hey, do you want more non-Emmy nominated content? Well then subscribe for more gay shit.